Yo, what is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to a special video where I'm going to be taking you through my Indianapolis Regionals run, the first ever Pokemon Play event for Pokemon Go in North America. It was a heck of a weekend, met a lot of awesome people, a few fans of the channel throughout the event. Probably a handful of people came up to me like, hey, Rise, like, I watch all your videos, so that was a neat experience for me. The only time that's really ever happened is when I went to Chicago Go Fest last year, where I met people that were viewers of the channel, and just like maybe once a month when I'm out playing Pokemon Go, maybe in my local town. So to meet all sorts of awesome people, King IV. I went down there with my teammate Dunebug from Mazer Gaming, and there's just too many to name. The two casters that you're going to see on the screen momentarily, 2-0 Butters and Speediest Chief, my other teammates, they were just such awesome dudes, and I enjoyed meeting everybody. And if I didn't name you, I enjoyed meeting you too. So we're going to get into the video here. And fortunately, I had 3 battles out of all the battles I did that were streamed. And if you're wondering how I did, we're going to get into that now. So I've got the stream up here. But before that, we can actually go into the bracket. So I can zoom in a little bit. This was the winner's bracket from day 2. I fell just short of the top 8, unfortunately. But I still had a pretty respectable showing from day 1. I was overall satisfied with how I played. I thought I played really well with maybe one match that I could have played better for sure. So it was divided into 4 groups. Group A, B, C, and D. You can zoom in really far, make this easier for you guys to read. And you see some names you might recognize. Sonoran Man has a pretty big following on YouTube for you Central American and Latin American viewers. And we scroll down here. Group B, in my opinion, was like the group of death for those soccer fans or football fans in Europe. Oftentimes when there's like a big tournament like the World Cup, there's a group that's deemed the group of death where there's so many great trainers, and I think that was the case here. You see Grace under Fiera, I'm pretty sure, is like a leaderboarder. You've got King IV, you've got Abhinav facing off basically in the first round, because that was King's first match, so round 2. Like 2 insanely good battlers. Abhinav is one of the best in the US. King is King, who may go down as the GOAT, we'll see. Dejan, elite battler. Shiny Dialga put together a really nice performance. Kevin Saludaris, like top 20 on Sylph this year. Dunebug, last season's world champ. Party Marty, who is an incredible battler. Was like, I think, the #1 US player in Sylph until he started just like kind of taking the season a little bit more easy. Myself in here, just Pranav in round up here, like just an absolutely insane group B. And we'll start off with my first battle here against Chrissy May that you'll see on in this video. I was the first one to battle on stream, which is kind of neat. And I actually lost to Dan the Man in round 2. But we'll start off with the win. We've got my buddies, Speedy and 2-0 Butters. And we're gonna get into my first one. Oh, and I need to get the audio here going correctly. So quick edit and transition.
In EUIC,
all right,
that
so
there
time
is a
for
meta
the battles now, and I was the very first battler on stream, along with Hey, it's Chrissy May. There's me on the left. First thought was, man, I really need to get going on this Titan exercise. I definitely look pretty thick, as some people in chat say, so could lose a pound or 30. But
only a little worried about.
This was the first matchup of the stream, and Chrissy May, I was talking to her backstage. Really nice gal. She had recently gotten into PvP. Her boyfriend was into PvP, and she kind of got into it herself. She asked if I was into PvP, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely play it a lot. So she wasn't familiar with like my channel or anything, which is fine. No hurt feelings there. I'm just messing around. But definitely I was more experienced here, and you could tell that
but even in that zero
based on our teams.
Sableye, that shadow all rain.
So we I think this started like mid battle. Oh no, wait. Was there already one before this? Yeah, there was. Okay. Let's get to that. Jumbling around. Here we go.
Were you accounting for that? Were you accounting for those picks that were not?
You said a previous.
So yeah, you see we're already playing. They were a little late to start, and there were some technical difficulties I found out later on in this first match.
It's kind of the rock slide.
But you see she's already swiping. So what happened up to this point when they actually play the match is I led my Trevenant into Gligar, and I caught the Night Slash on my Walrein, and she swapped the Cherim into the Walrein. So that's basically what's happened so far. And you see they have our names flip-flopped, so they have me as it's Chrissy May, they have her as Rise to Occasion.
We are actually into the game number one. It's this
but we're in a pretty good spot here. I honestly just knew my Walrein, with its spamminess, could put on pressure against pretty much her whole team. It's only afraid of the Machamp, really.
Yeah, and
it's also not a Shadow Machamp, so non-Shadow Machamp is a little less scary. You get the close-up on Rise as they're probably trying to fix the graphic on stream. Let's see. So they have the graphic right here, and they actually flip it. Like, they have it right, and you're going to see they flip it eventually. But that's fine. My Walrein put in some work. I got both of her shields, and I just let my Walrein go. And at this point, I'm thinking nothing on her team wants to eat a Shadow Ball. So I'm just going to double shield my Trevenant and farm all the way down. And that way, my Trevenant should be able to sweep. We'll see if then that ends up happening. Gets the farm all the way down.
It is this Gligar, and it's going to be blind Shadow Ball.
The
this
Gligar
is going to do a lot of damage to the Gligar here. It's probably going to be able to
and look,
hold on,
they're flipping the teams again. No need to flip the teams. You had them right. And then here I'm just counting her moves. I do have the Seed Bomb. I definitely win CMP, so that was kind of unnecessary.
Yes, and hey, it's Chrissy.
But just playing it safe.
And
then there's a Machamp in back, and this poor little Machamp gonna have to eat a Shadow Ball.
By the Trevenant, and this Shadow Ball is
gonna come through.
This Machamp is out of Protect Shields. It's gonna have to take it, and it does.
Boom.
Machamp gets KO'd there.
Out of Protect Shields.
Just flexing those grass-type muscles, and it's
flexing those grass-type muscles. I like its BDA. First time doing a video like this where they're being live. They're being commentated on live. So let me know in the comments if it's like too many voices with the commentary in the background and with me. Trying to figure out. This is kind of like a test drive, right? The first content I'm posting from in-person regionals. So we'll see. It's good practice for the future ones we'll be at. So we get a Game 1 win. Our app crashed out. And I'm gonna just skip ahead bit by bit till we get to the second match, because she was having some issues, I think. Okay, let's see. We lead Walrein into Walrein, and they swap out into their Gengar, which is actually terrific for me, because if you look at my back line here in a sec, Trev and Medi, Walrein is my best answer to the Gengar, so seeing the Gengar here is where I want to see it. Walrein can just outbulk it. She didn't charge up enough for a Shadow Ball, I believe. Or maybe she did. I didn't even notice. I only counted 6, but maybe that was 7. So I'm able to call the punch. I'm able to get the second shield already here against the Gengar. I have already seen the Walrein, and I don't really want my Trevenant matched up against the Walrein. So I'm going to actually commit a shield here just to take out this Gengar, get rid of it. And this way I get switch advantage. And in case there's like the Gligar or the Sylveon that my Medi would struggle against. Now I have switch advantage and I'm up a shield. When you have switch advantage and you're up a shield, you're in a pretty good spot. And it's also a Frost Breath Wall Rain. So at this point, here's actually a good thing I do. Like, this is not as simple as it seems. You might be wondering, why not throw the Icicle Spear for chip damage? Well, this is a situation where, in my opinion, you definitely just commit to the Earthquake, because either you get off a very hard-hitting move, or you force them to expend energy. If I settle for this Icicle Spear, it's really not doing much good for me. It's going to do hardly anything, double resisted. So I commit to the Earthquake, and she elects to throw her Icicle Spear right away. And I'm up a shield, I have switch advantage. I come in Medicham. She swaps Sylveon. I swap Trevenant, and it's pretty straightforward from here. I'm just going to go for a Shadow Ball, right? Going to outpace the Charmer. Trevenant's so good. It's going to do quite a bit of damage. Shadow Ball, ow. And Sylveon doesn't even get to the Psyshock. I'm only 3 away from Seed Bomb. And my Trev is actually able to survive the Frost Breath to get there. Frost Breath is a 2-turn move. What? I always thought it was a 1-turn move. That looked like 2 turns. Who knew? Not I. But we get a round 1 win in the tournament. Obviously, Chrissy May, probably not as experienced of a battler, but she was a really nice gal. And it was unfortunate to see some people on the Twitch stream, like, making fun of her plays. Because, honestly, like, I don't think she played that bad. I think I just had a stronger team. And yeah, so we gotta respect everybody. Everyone starts somewhere. And also, one thing I didn't like, which someone made a good point about, was when the graphics were switched and people thought I was running her team with, like, Gligar and Sylveon and Gengar. Like, people were like, oh my god, Rise is bringing spice. This is insane. And then when they found out it was her team, they, like, started making fun of her team. So, just a little bit of, like, a double standard there I think we should be a little bit careful about. And I think it was really just, like, a small percentage of people. But we can all have fun. We can all tease. But just make sure we're respectful about it. So you see me advance past round 1, luckily, on stream. Round 2, I play against Dan the Man off stream. And Dan the Man was the man. He predicted basically my line of 3 in order every single game. I lost round 1. You can see with my team graphic here. I think game 1 I led Mandibuzz into Reggie. I safe swapped my own Reggie. He had a Lucario on his team, which is actually pretty smart. It hard beats Reggie and Walrein more than something like Medicham would, because it has that extra attack and that power-up punch, and you're also going to resist the ice damage. So it was Mandy into Reggie. I swap Reggie. He swaps Lucario. He does 1 power-up punch, farms me all the way down, shields once. And from there, I was pretty much screwed. Game number 2, he called my lead again. I forget what I led. Maybe like Medi into like Jelly or something. I don't think that's right. Maybe like Medi into Sableye. But basically, I safe swapped Swampert this time. And he did not have a solid counter, so he swapped his Golbat into the Swampert. And then my Swampert was actually able to take back Switch Advantage. And once I got back Switch Advantage, I was able to line up my Medi on Lucario, and it was GG's from there. And game number 3 was kind of the same tale as game number 1. It was literally, I believe, Mandy into Reggie. I safe swap Swampert. He safe swaps Trevenant. And then I had Medicham versus Jellicent in the back. So triple hard countered against Dan the Man. And sometimes there's just not much you can do. I really couldn't have played this one any differently. The only thing I could have done differently was choose a different line of 3. And he just chose the superior lines of 3. And he read me like a book. Maybe it's because he watches the channel, which he told me he's a fan of the channel, so I appreciate it. So maybe he had the mind. He knew my play styles, what lines I like to run. and he read me like a book. So we lose to Dan the Man in round 2. And the tough thing about this is, as you guys know, King IV was the winner of our group and ended up winning the whole thing. Spoiler alert, sorry. If you didn't know already, it was everywhere. So King had to win 1, 2, 3, 4 matches since he had a bye. So we'll say 5 to get to the round 2 or day 2. I lose in round 2. So I go to the losers bracket and I'd have to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would have to win 7 to get to day 2. After I'd already won a game. So when you go to the losers bracket, you have to win a lot more games, and it just makes it a lot tougher on you. But we'll see what happens. So I played against Kevin Saludaris, who's very well known in the community. We had really good matches. I was able to take that one 2-0. I had to play my teammate Dunebug in the second round of the losers bracket. And imagine this. It's the second round of the losers bracket, and I'm playing the Sylph World Champion from Season 3. Just like an epic matchup here so early on in the losers bracket. So one of us is going home. We had a really epic match. I was able to take it. I played Crucified JD. And we had an unfortunate situation where I had like no chance to lose the game based on the position I was in. And my phone completely like froze and stopped responding. And he basically countered down my entire team with like a red health medi when I still had 2 full Pokemon. So we had to call the judge over. And after like a bunch of deliberation, they awarded me the win. And then I was able to take game 2. We played Bubble Wrapper next. And that game was on stream. So we played Bubble Wrapper. Is this me? No, that's not me. That's Dijon, who, by the way, out of all the people I met, Dijon was one of my favorites. King and Party Marty here, epic matchup. Let me know if you guys want to see another video of me reacting to King's run. He's already made videos on his run, but if you guys want to see me reacting, I'd be down to do that as well. So we'll get into my matches. This is against Bubble Wrapper. I'm on the right this time, obviously. The big fella.
We have that Mandibuzz again with Trevenant, Walrein, Registeel, Swamp teams. We see both sides and the Mandibuzz. Best Pokemon in the
So
open
pretty
race.
similar
Yeah,
teams,
but if you
right?
look at
The only
this on
difference
paper,
is
when
he
you
has
take a look at the
Sableye
key
and Nido
differences
instead of
between these two teams,
Trevenant and Swampert.
Those match and that Nido is those individuals some really tough matchups as well.
So here we are, game number 1. I lead my Mandibuzz into a Walrein.
Moving
So
into
we're
game number 1.
off to a tough spot right off the bat. I safe swap my Reggie, and I lure out the Medi to protect my Walrein in the back. A pretty simple strategy. And his Medicham, as you can see, doesn't have doesn't have Power Up Punch, which makes this so Registeel just straight up wins this matchup in the Zero Shield. Especially if you're one lock on ahead, which I am. So he's gonna throw a move here. I'm just willing to take my shield advantage and farm all the way down with Mandibuzz. I go for the Zap Cannon here. Obviously, I'm not gonna Focus Blast it. This will allow him to farm me all the way down, unfortunately. So his Medi's just completely loaded with energy, but he's still switch locked. So I want to get this damage off before he dips out of here and like saves a Psychic or something. And Mandibuzz, we know how bulky it is. So even though these Ice Punches are super effective, we know that, as DeFi just said, they're tickling the Mandibuzz, just tickling it. And I'm totally willing to just absorb these Ice Punches and put it all in my Walrein, essentially, in back. And I was debating whether I wanted to keep the Foul Play or whether I wanted to throw it at the Walrein. And I decide I want to throw it because this helps put it into Earthquake range plus Powder Snows. Versus if I kept this, like I would need to land 2 Earthquakes, but this puts it pretty close to Earthquake range. And you can see they have a Sableye in back. they catch the EQ.
My gosh, a great catch. We see
They catch the
Bubble
EQ
Wrapper
on
the
save.
At the last minute, able to catch what could be an Icicle Spear, but no, it is the Earthquake. That's a lot of damage. It is neutral damage, so hard to constitute
That's
that as a full
lot
catch.
of damage.
But that said, we now see the Icicle Spear coming through. A lot of this energy now getting used on the Sableye. Let's see if Bubble Wrapper wants to use the last Protect Shield.
And does not. Allows the Sableye to go down, and then here is the Walrein with an Earthquake ready to go. Rise to occasion
Earthquake
using his
coming
first
in.
of 2 Protect Shields to protect
correctly
his
shield
own
it.
Walrein.
No baits for Bubble Wrapper, going straight for the Earthquake. That would have been a devastating blow, but a nice shield from Rise. Rise probably feeling a bit more comfortable now,
Able
knowing
to
that he's
sneak in a
properly
Powder
shielded
Snow
one
there, which is
Earthquake.
pretty
Do
nice.
we go for the bait again? No, Bubble Wrapper is
And if
going
this is
straight
an
for the
Earthquake,
and
now I know
Rise
I can
shields it again.
safely
Gotta feel
just
good
go for
shielding
my
2
own
Earthquakes
Earthquake, and I don't even
back-to-back.
need to bait.
Definitely. So Rise still, I'm sorry, Bubble Wrapper still has that 1 shield remaining, but
Swiping
chooses
away,
to use
swiping
it here
away.
Against the opposing Earthquake.
Get the
So we are
last
at
shield.
no shields remaining.
We get some mutual lag here, but you can see my energy.
All right, well,
I was
a brief pause
ahead.
there, but it looks like both trainers are now able to get to the Earthquake.
So I
at
think
the
I
same
actually lost
time.
the Powder
It looks
Snow
like we
there,
have a
but I win
CMP
CMP, and
with
his
Rise's
Earthquake would not
Walrein
have
winning this
KO'd,
particular
I don't
one,
think, from
getting
this
to the
range
Earthquake.
anyway.
I don't know if this is going to be enough. Is it? No,
So
it
some people
is.
were complaining
Bubble
lag.
Wrapper's Walrein does go down
I saw on
there,
the
and we
Twitch
see
stream
Rise
afterwards,
taking the
lag,
victory in game number
rematch.
1.
But
We
I don't think
do.
that lag affected
I
it personally.
love
Let me
the
know if you
t-shirt
disagree
that
in the
Rise is
comments.
wearing,
And if you
Dragon Rage with
disagree,
that Dragonite.
provide an explanation as
That was
well
absolutely fantastic and caught my
as to
eye
why.
immediately. But what caught your eye, Wholesome?
DeFi
in
complimenting
that
the
battle we just
Dragon
saw?
Well, it is
Rage
very
shirt.
shiny.
So actually, I wore this sweatshirt to the thing because I just wanted to be comfortable, and they told me I couldn't wear it. What does this say? It says America, land of the free, home of the brave. So I know America and supporting our home country can be controversial nowadays.
Isn't it?
Um,
What caught my eye?
So without elaborating on that, they made me change, and they gave me a free T-shirt, which was the Dragon Rage
initially was the
T-shirt.
lead matchup.
And I had
We
never
a
gotten
very
so
nice
many
lead match.
compliments over the course of a day of like, hey, nice shirt, than me wearing this shiny Dragon Rage shirt. So people were like, bro, like I should have worn something that had a logo on it, so I couldn't wear it and get a free shirt. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, I actually had to change backstage, and I was like right in front of the casters too. I was right in front of the of Wholesome, DeFi, Speedy, and Butters, and I had to like take my shirt off and change in front of them because I didn't want to change in front of the whole audience. But I'm going too fast. Game number 2. So we're able to win game number 1, and we're off to game number 2.
With a terrible lead
This
matchup,
time,
able to take the victory.
we get a more
That's
positive
much
lead.
better lead
Reggie
matchup,
into
able to align
Walrein.
with Registeel versus this Walrein.
Uh,
Walrein will be able to
as
hit
you
super
should
effectively
know by
with
now
the
from like Go
Earthquake,
Battle
but
League,
no, not before this Registeel.
Reggie gets the Zap Cannon
Reggie
before
Zap
Walrein
Cannon.
gets to the first
Regardless
Earthquake,
if
so
he
I
is
just
or
go
not,
for the
he's
Zap
going
Cannon to debuff the Walrein. In comes an opposing Registeel after they shield, so they keep the EQ, and I lose CMP against the Reggie. And I take note that he threw right away. He didn't overfarm. So based on that, you'll see me pull off a nice little play here. I am able to get his second shield.
Against the Registeel. So Bubble Wrapper, no Protect Shields left remaining. Rise still has one.
Well, despite Registeel's bulk, I think both of these
And
battlers
boom.
understand how much value they
We
get out.
catch
So
the
we
Focus
see a
Blast.
huge catch here, DeFi. The
And I heard this got a
double resisted by the Trevenant. We didn't know where Trevenant was going to show up, but it is showing up in a big way here for Rise. Able to
I heard
catch
this got a
the
little
Focus
like cheer from the crowd. And you know what? It's a nice catch. Like anytime you catch a Focus Blast on a Ghost, it's pretty cool, right? But in hindsight, it's actually probably not the best play because now I don't really have an answer for that Medi that's lurking in the back. So although it was like really cool in the moment, and Zionic even tweeted out me like, Rise, that catch made me jump out of my chair. Definitely a good catch, but I'm not sure it was theoretically the correct play. So we'll see how this plays out.
We still have some energy on this Walrein. However, there are no shields left for Bubble Wrapper. It's going to have to face off either versus this Registeel. And yes, Registeel.
I overfarm a little bit since I knew he wasn't quite at the EQ. I go for a Zap. Not sure why. Maybe like in case he caught or something. Because Focus Blast and Zap do the same damage. And then you see that little reaction from me, right? the Medi comes in. This reaction is not because there's a Medi against my 2 Pokemon weak to Medi. I thought there might be a Medi. It's because I didn't zap it first and then come in Wall Rain. Because if I zap it first, I think I win this game super easily. But now this Medi is non-debuffed. I really can't afford to take a Psychic here, otherwise I just kind of lose. So I do shield. Very nice bait from my opponent.
Lots of energy on this wall rain and a decent amount of HP still on that Registeel despite the
I get off an Icicle Spear here.
It's going to have to get through 2 Pokemon.
And then he combo plays me, knowing I would get to another. But I think this combo was actually a misplay from my opponent. Because what this does is allows me to get a perfect lock-on down, where we know the Medi doesn't have any charge moves that are threatening, and I'm able to Zap Cannon the Medichim for the win. Boom. Takes out Medi. So yeah, if we just think about that, what could our opponent have done here? I think if he just stays in with the Medi and saves his Focus Blast that he had stored for the Reggie, he wins. Because all he really has to do is get rid of this Wall Rain or with the Medi, or get it low enough to the point where Registeel can lock on down, which I think he would have been able to do. Because you see my energy, like I would have had to take like at least 5 counters. And like 5 counters would probably get me into lock on down range. So sometimes the play that seems like the good play, like quick combo, get rid of the Pokemon, actually ends up backfiring. So, and I think that was the case for both of us. I think my catch, although it looked cool, wasn't necessarily the right play. And the same thing with the combo here. I don't think the combo is the right play. So we take that matchup on stream against Mr. Bubble Wrapper. Super nice guy as well. And if we take a look back at this, we beat Bubble Wrapper. I then played against Pranav, who's honestly just an insanely good battler. And like a really entertaining streamer as well. I totally misplayed game 1. Kind of threw it away. I led Trevenant into DD, I think. He safe swapped something. I forget what he safe swapped something I didn't really have an answer to. Or at least like a hard answer to. And I just totally scuffed the game. And he ended up winning that game 1 pretty convincingly after I had like the best possible lead. Game number 2, I think I won pretty RPS. And game number 3 came right down to the wire. I had a pretty nice catch on my like 1 HP Wall Rain, I believe it was, where he had a Swampert with energy against my Mandibuzz and a very low Umbreon in back. And I knew I predicted he was going to throw after 4 Mud Shots. So I did 2 Air Slashes. I waited and I caught. And that allowed my Mandibuzz to then get to a move. He was extremely distraught, upset at himself after the game because he wasn't sure, or he lost track of how much energy my Mandibuzz had. And he felt like if he knew my Mandibuzz was that close to 2 moves, he could have easily just like thrown a Last Resort earlier and won. So he was upset because he felt like I felt like I threw game 1. So I don't know, hypothetically, maybe it balances out. But just like, it was such a crazy intense match here. It would have been cool if it was streamed. I played against Dijon, who out of all the people I met, I think I mentioned this earlier, was like honestly one of my favorites. This dude was just so nice, so full of energy, always laughing, always had a smile, like the nicest guy. And we had a really good match. He brought Credilli, which was one of the spiciest mons I saw over the day. And he actually played on stream, so I encourage you to watch his match on stream. And he streams himself. And then we play against Party Marty. So I had actually won 6 matches in a row up until this point against Party Marty. You see the result there, and we are going to watch what happened here on stream. Okay.
To watch out for Party Marty's
yeah, Party Marty is from the Boston area, just an extremely talented battler. Was so calm, cool, and collected over the course of the day. His first match was on stream against my teammate Dunebug, and it was a bit of a controversial situation because Dunebug experienced some one-turn lag in the beginning, asked for a rematch in a game that Party Marty probably wins like 9 times out of 10. He had the hard counter lineup, and what ended up happening was they made them rematch with just completely new teams. So if I was Party Marty in his shoes, although I understand where my teammate Dunebug was coming from, because lag did put him at a disadvantage, I would have been pretty upset with the ruling there by the judges to allow a rematch with new teams. I think the same teams would have been fair. So just the resilience of Party Marty throughout the day I thought was just really commendable and impressive. And we're going to get into these games in a moment here. Also, you look at his team, no grass type. So my Swampert is pretty much unchecked, which made me feel pretty confident going into this match. I'm like, my Swampert is pretty much unchecked. My Walrein, looks okay. But I guess just the fact that my Swampert was unchecked looks good. But what people pointed out afterwards was my Reggie is really my only strong answer to the A9. A9 can kind of charm through everything else. So we'll see how this goes. I get a tough lead, Trev into Sableye. I immediately safe swap my Swampert. And he's staying in. So switch advantage is going to be everything here. Switch advantage is going to be everything here. He knows as well that I have a Trevenant. He's willing to let this second Hydro go. I'm debating whether I want to shield. I've already gotten shield advantage here. But, like, you see my back line. I would have to shield my Trev, or I can't really lock it on down with Reggie. So I have to shield at least once, and kind of the same situation here, right? I kind of have to shield. He swaps in the A9. You know, I probably shouldn't have taken that Charm, you know? Because like if I just throw this Hydro earlier, my switch clock is up, and I wouldn't have taken that Charm there, and I could have registered it. So, bit of a misplay there. And here is where the mistake happens. I come in Reggie, and he did just a phenomenal strategy, right? Lure out the Reggie with the A9, and now this Umbreon is going to sweep me in back. Trev is going to be dead weight. And this is like such overkill, right? This energy from my Reggie. I undercharge by a lot, but clearly not enough. I should have done no bubbles there. I did like maybe 4 or 5 bubbles. Marty's thinking how he wants to close this out. Sableye comes in. He gets this off.
This is no shields left for Rise. This is going to be some nice hard-hitting damage. The question is, was the Focus Blast also thrown in a CMP? It looks like not.
And then we both simul swap, and it's the Trev versus Umbreon. And this is pretty much game over, unless we can pull out something crazy.
I am absolutely amazed at how well this Party Marty is navigating this, because he had a really tough situation with that Sableye almost on the brink of fainting. And then in the back, 2 Pokemon weak to
he wisely doubles up. We get a Shadow Claw through, which is kind of nice.
And able to make a very quick switch to still put himself in a place where he might be able to take this victory.
I get the denial. I feel like I have to play kind of risky at this point to like have a chance, so that's why I went for the denial. See if I can potentially get to another, but nope. The third Snarl is going to KO 1 turn before us.
Very tough. Almost able to get to that seed bomb. That seed bomb would have been pretty close to KOing. You still have a lot of energy banked up if you Rise, but this Umbreon has close to 2 foul plays.
Debating what I want to come in with here. I come in with the Reggie, I zap it. I don't know why. Like, cause like, what does this debuff really do for me? I think I fell in love with Zap Cannon a little bit too much. And he's only 1 Snarl away versus my Swampert is like 3 mud shots away. So I think he actually lagged there a little bit. My Swampert should have only got like 2 mud shots. And the foul play KOs. And Umbreon can just snarl down the Reggie. So, great game, to be honest. What could I have done differently? I think the only thing I really realistically could have done differently was predict the Umbreon in back. And when he swapped in the A9, don't want to get too lost. When he swapped in the A9, I should have come in with my Trevenant instead of the Reggie here. So we play this back. I throw the Hydro. Could have thrown the Hydro earlier as well. Would have taken 1 less charm. If I was able to read the back line, that there was an Umbreon there, and swap in my Trevenant here, I probably win the game. But he lured out my Reggie very smartly and outplayed me for game number 1. And now let's see if I can respond. It's best 2 out of 3, right? So not out of it yet. And the winner of this game, if I didn't mention it earlier, goes on to day number 2. Goes on to the top 8. So this is a big time game right here. Someone mentioned in the Twitch chat, by the way, that I had nice calves. So I appreciate it. Little stridation in the calf. I played basketball, so although I'm kind of chunky right now, working on it. I guess I have nice calves. Maybe I don't. We'll see. Okay. That was random. Swampert versus DD. So I'm happy that my back line avoids this. To me, this is like the best possible lead. We are desynced. He sneaks in a counter. I land the Hydro. Here is probably my biggest regret of the tournament. This is a very obvious catch situation, in my opinion. Throwing at 9. Throwing before I get to my second Hydro. I think this would have been a perfect opportunity to catch on my Registeel. Because if I catch on my Registeel here, he can't really stay in, right? He's debuffed himself. And what does he swap into? Like Sableye, he kind of has to. So I'd immediately be in a commanding position if I had swapped in my Registeel there and caught the Psycho Boost. He stores a Psycho Boost and swaps in Umbreon. I'm able to bank a bunch of energy on my Swampert, almost 2 Hydros.
Yeah, absolutely. These snarls able to generate energy so fast.
Throw the Focus Blast here. Finally not going for Zap, right? I figure he thinks I might go for Zap, so I wasn't expecting a shield here. And this is nice because we get it into like Hydro Cannon range, in case that comes into play later on.
Definitely the lock-ons providing absolutely no fast move pressure, but do build up to those.
Another foul play coming through.
Rather quickly. Umbreon already at another foul play. Registeel not quite at that Focus Blast.
Another foul play coming through. They just keep on spamming away. Lands on us. People were wondering why I zapped here. Just in case of a catch. Just in case he tried to catch it on DD. But I think I threw in between the Snarl. So they were right. Like, there's no reason to zap there if I'm going to throw in between the Snarl. I'm trying to swap out into my Swampert. But then Sableye comes and I'm like, maybe I can force him to throw here. But, you know, this is probably the wrong play, to be honest, because now... I don't know. And here is where I really wasn't sure what to come in with, because do I come in with my wall rain down a shield, whereas I have all this energy on Swampert? Do I unleash all this energy on my Swampert instead to grab shield advantage or take out the Sableye? So I was kind of debating what to do.
Yes. So we have the Swampert, we have the wall rain in the back. Let's see who Rise decides to put in first.
I come in with the wall rain.
Wall rain up against the Sableye. Sableye already at a foul play. Wall rain already at an icicle spear, trying to build up a little bit more. But Sableye gets to that foul play first. Rise opting not to shield.
Yeah, these foul plays are adding up very.
You see a little hand motion from me there? I'm like thinking in my head like is he gonna? I don't know what that was. I was like, is he gonna return? Is he gonna foul play? I just like put my left hand up. I don't know what that was. I thought he was gonna return, but it actually looks like he was one short. So in the moment, my counting was off by one.
Yes, and there is that first one that we see. So we see the
first time like battling in person. I combo here with the Hydro. He commits his last shield. I know he's going to combo with the DD, or at least that's what I'm expecting. And here, I decide, okay, I know he has the Psycho Boost loaded, but I need to force him to throw it right away. I don't want him to overform. I want him to debuff himself right away. So this isn't me thinking I'm going to get off my Hydro. This is me thinking, okay, I'm going to force him to combo and debuff himself. That's why I'm shielding this. Versus if I don't shield, he can just stay in with Sableye.
Psycho Boost loaded from Party Marty. You can hear the crowd go wild. I believe this is going to be enough to knock out the Swampert, and then it's going to be up to register.
So now he's debuffed. I have this energy. 2, 3, 4, 5. And this spear, I know in my head it's not even going to be enough. It's able to hang on. And I can't allow him to get to the boost. But wait, he had the boost. Like, why doesn't he throw the boost? Like, he could have won right there. So I'm not sure why he didn't. I'm not sure why he didn't throw it there. That was kind of weird.
Man, that is tough for Party Marty. Had the move through one more counter though, and then we had a CMP, which Walrein will win. We're now going to have the.
And now it's a race, but Sableye is just a little too healthy. So I actually looked back at this. If I would have won, if I would have EQ'd. Oh, sorry, if you didn't know who won, based off the situation. This Icicle Spear does not KO. And Sableye hangs on. Really good games. And really nice guy, Party Marty. So I couldn't really be mad, right? I don't think I played terrible. I think I could have played better. But I think Party Marty played better than me. And it's easier to take a loss, to be honest, when you feel like you just got outplayed versus if you felt like a boost happened or it was like RNG or something. But yeah, just outplayed by Party Marty to get to the top 8. And let's go back to it. Yeah, so I was looking back at this. If I would have EQ'd the Deoxys, would I have won? So we shield here. The Deoxys combo plays us. So Deoxys is dry. So let's say I throw on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I Earthquake right here, I would be 6 away from EQ. But let's say 5. Let's say I get 5 Powder Snows plus Icicle Spear. Because, and if you're not following what I'm saying, basically that Earthquake would have taken out the Sableye, or that Earthquake would have taken out the Deoxys. But instead of that, I actually ended up like having to double Icicle Spear as to not get Psycho boosted. So would 5 have KO'd? Because I wouldn't have gotten to the EQ. I would have CMP tied. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So theoretically, if I Earthquake the DD, I would get 1 Powder Snow after this Icicle Spear. And the Sableye would have lived at least 2 Powder Snow. So I don't think I threw that game per se in the end game there. I think it was lost even if I had EQ'd the DD. I think where I really messed up was allowing him to Psycho Boost my Swampert in the lead scenario instead of dipping out where that energy would not have been as useful. So there you have it. That is a recap of my first ever regionals run, my first ever big in-person tournament as well. I did 2 local tournaments way back in the day, pre-COVID, but my first ever big in-person tournament with more than a dozen people. There's about just under 100 people in this. So just to recap, we were able to beat Chrissy May in round 1. We lost to Dan the Man in round 2, which dropped us to the losers bracket really early on. We beat Kevin, Dunebug, Crucified JD, Bubble Wrapper, Pranav, Dijon. We won 6 matches in a row before eventually losing to Party Marty on stream. So we finished our first event 7-2, which I think is a very good record. And I overall, I'm not displeased with how I did. It is unfortunate to get that close to top 8 and then fall, but I think I did my best. I could have played better against Party Marty without a doubt, but overall I thought I played well on the day. And I'm hopeful to try and improve and do better next time. So all that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, suggestions, things you liked, things you didn't like, random ideas, I don't know, make sure to comment them down below. All comments are appreciated. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. And all that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Vlog coming soon. Peace.